Hello, Ardricel students. This is Mr. Webb, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the dual enrollment program for summer and fall 2025. This will open in the next day or so make sure you mark akvc3.com/ccp so you can come back to that website and watch this video, which will be right here, and then go through the process to complete all the correct steps needed to be enrolled into the dual enrollment program. So first, what is dual enrollment? It is a chance for high school students to take college level courses at CPCC. It's a great way to earn college credit before even getting to your four-year college, so it could cut cost for a lot of students, which that is the intended goal of the program. It's not really a program for you guys just to boost your GPA, but I know that's what a lot of students like to take advantage of it for. But let's talk about the process and some of the things you guys will have to do to be enrolled into the program. So the first thing we're going to talk about are pathways. So every student has to pick at least one pathway, and you have to take classes in that pathway. You are not required to complete the pathway. CPCC just has to have limitations on high school students. So you guys aren't taking seats from all the paying students at CPCC. So the first pathway I want to talk about are the college transfer pathways. This is what most of our students elect to take. These pathways will have the classes that will transfer to four-year colleges. So if you're looking to get like an English 111 knocked out and sent to your four-year college, then these are the pathways for you. We'll talk about what's inside the pathway in just a second, but I also want to talk about the career and technical education pathway. These are more career and technical pathways that give you an opportunity to explore different career options. So if you're unsure what you want to do, I highly encourage you to explore these pathways. Most of these pathways, the courses in them, the weight on them is a standard level class. I will show you guys how you can check whether courses are standard or AP weighted in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the college transfer pathway. The arts transfer pathway is your most beneficial pathway. Even if you feel you're going to go the science route or engineering pathway only has one engineering class in it, so it doesn't necessarily always make sense to get caught up with the buzzwords. But the arts transfer pathway allows you the most options to take the most classes. So let's click on the arts pathway and take a look at it. You guys will be able to click all the links and to see everything in the pathways. So these are showing you the classes, and they break it down by section. So there's an English section, there's a communications and humanities and fine arts section, there's a social and behavioral section, there's a mathematics section, and then there's a science section. So you can take any course in here that doesn't require a prerequisite. So you'll see courses that have stars by them. Those courses are going to require you to have a prerequisite. That prerequisite is most likely going to be English 111. So if that's something you're interested in, you can take that class. AP Lang does count as English 111, but you're not going to have that AP score until July after your junior year, so it might delay you in getting that credit, but you will eventually get that credit if we submit your AP scores to CPCC. So each section has like some small fine print here. So for the communication section, it says select 3 courses from below from at least 2 different subject areas. So art would be a subject area, communications would be a subject area, Drama would be a subject area. These English classes would be a subject area. Music would be a subject area, and philosophy would be a subject area. So you could potentially take one art, one English, and one music. You couldn't take all three Englishes and then use that as your 3 courses over here. So you could do communications and 2 Englishes if you wanted, because that's from 2 different subject areas. You do a music and a communications and an arts. That's fine, because that is also from 2 different subject areas. The place that probably gets most confusing is the social and behavioral section, because this is probably the most popular section. This is where everybody wants to take classes. So you could do the 2 econs if you wanted, but then you would only be able to do one of the histories, because theirs is select any 3 courses from at least 2 different subject areas. So you could do, oh, actually for arts, you could do 1 econ, 1 history, and 1 poli-sci. Students run into trouble though when we submit AP scores and they have like AP Psych on there, and maybe World History, AP World History on there. Then they'll get credit for those courses, and then they go back and try to take, 2 more of these courses, and that wouldn't be allowed. So just make sure you take the proper amount of courses in each section. Math is pretty straightforward for the arts pathway. You just have to take 1 of those. And then science is also the same. Once you complete a pathway, then that opens the door for you to take more classes, and could potentially set you up to get an associate's degree. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Now I want to talk about a CTE pathway. So CTE, this is the business pathway. This shows all the classes in it, not as many as the arts pathway. But again, a good way to get introduced to, business classes. 95% of the time, if you see a transfer or a yes in this category, that means it is worth an AP class or an AP weight. So if you see that in this column, then you are good to go. I'm going to show you one other place to double check to see the weight of a class here in just a second. Okay, so those are the types of pathways. Now, you can take 1 college transfer pathway and 1 career and technical education pathway if you want. So that gives you 2 pathways you can take. You can also take 2 career and technical education pathways. You just cannot take 2 college transfer pathways at the same time. So you can do 1 college and 1 career, or 2 careers, or you could just do 1 college if you don't want to take any other career and tech. To be eligible for a college transfer pathway, though, you have to have a 2.8 unweighted GPA. If you do not have that, there is another way you could get into a college transfer pathway, and that is through test scores. I'll show you the test score component in just a second. But here are all the CTE pathways. Again, you can click on all these links to see what courses are inside these pathways. These pathways down here usually require the 2.8 unweighted GPA or test scores as well. So just make sure you have that if you're picking one of those pathways. Like I said earlier, classes are online and in person. These will be available summer, fall, and spring terms. CPCC checkpoint, that's step 6 of the process. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then info sessions are usually available online, where you can sign up for one of those if you want to hear CPCC's side of things. All right, so eligibility requirements. We talked about the 2.8 unweighted GPA. You have to be a rising junior or senior to be eligible to participate in dual enrollment. So rising juniors, you guys cannot start until fall of your junior year. So you'll hear me talk about summer here in just a little bit. Rising juniors, you are not eligible until the fall. So just make sure you keep that in mind. Seniors that are graduating, you are eligible to take summer classes if you want. Just know if you are taking classes at CPCC, parking is not guaranteed at AK, so do not think just because you're doing CPCC, you're going to be guaranteed a parking spot. If you want to know what the benchmark placement scores are, you can click on this link right here, and this will take you to the benchmark scores. They'll take ACT, SAT, PSAT, pre-ACT, and CPCC even has their own placement test. If you want to sign up to take that, you can schedule that right there. A lot of our students like to take Math 271, which is equivalent to Calc AB, or even higher level math. These are the requirements. I do have to get one more update with AP Pre-Calc coming through. I know a lot of you students are taking that, but you guys aren't going to have those scores until, again, end of July. So you're probably not going to be able to be set up with Calc until there's not a guarantee you'd get a fall semester class at CPCC. So if you do plan to take, if you are through Calc AB and BC and you want to submit your scores as, maybe take a Calc 3 or a linear algebra, you can submit those scores to me. And I will send those to the CPCC. And if your scores meet the criteria, which is usually a 4 or 5, then you'll get credit for those classes and you can take higher level math at CPCC. This is new this year. There is no American history cohort. All graduation requirements must be completed at AK. So that is new this year. So rising juniors, and if you're thinking about taking, the equivalent to AP US at CP, you'll have to do that here at AK. So that's all right. It's still a great class, so just make sure you do that. CPCC does offer foreign language. Some students try to get a third level at CPCC if it's not working with their schedule at AK. I think most foreign languages should work maybe a little better with semester foreign language coming in. But there is an option for you to take foreign language at CPCC. You can take a placement test. You just click on this link and then you reach out to the department chair on this link to set up that placement. You'd have to test into, let's use Spanish as an example, Spanish 211 to get the third level credit. So just keep that in mind. If you want to see AP course equivalencies, you can click this link. It'll show what AP courses equal CPCC courses. And then here's the other section. If you're wanting to know what a certain course is weighted as, you can click this link and it's got every course, and you can just search through the spreadsheet and find the course and see what it's weighted. All NC public schools do accept dual enrollment courses. So if you're going to a public North Carolina institution, you want to see how a course would transfer, you can click on this link, and then there's different links to each college and you can plug courses in to see how they would transfer to that college. Like I said earlier, private and out-of-state schools might have to do a little bit more legwork to see if they accept dual enrollment courses, or how they value them. So just make sure you're doing your research. I always encourage students to start a college spreadsheet and with different categories. And this could be one of the categories. Do they accept dual enrollment courses? If you ever need a CPCC transcript, which you will need when you graduate from high school, and you want to get credit for those dual enrollment courses, you can click on this link, complete the submission form, and have your CPCC transcript sent to the college of your choice. So just keep that in mind. And then CMS keeps a check-in Google form that I try to keep up with. If you have any feedback on anything or on how you're doing, you can click on this link and give us feedback with how your class is going. And we can try to get you help if you need some assistance with anything. But yeah, CMS encourages you guys to fill that out a couple times a semester. So, okay, let's talk about the application process now that we kind of know the nuances. This is going to open. I'll probably open it a day early. Probably open it tomorrow. This is going to be open through April 4th. Okay, so if you want to get enrolled into the program, you have to complete all these steps by April 4th. You're going to hear me talk about this February 27th date here. And that means if you want priority registration that begins on March 31st, you need to have everything done by February 27th. If you miss that February 27th date, then every week you're late. It delays you a little bit more on when you can register for classes. Now remember, there are two processes to this. There's the enrollment process into the program, and then there's the registration process for classes. I'm going to show how these align, but the main thing is to get enrolled into the program. You can register for classes up until they start in August. So don't worry about, be like, oh, I have to be registered for my classes by April 4th. No, that turnaround's not not very fair, because you can't start registering until March 31st. So I'm not giving you just 5 days to register for classes. CPCC will have the registration portal open all summer, but you do want to get in early. So if you get kicked out of a class because you sign up for a class out of your pathway, you want to know things as early as possible. So, and plus it helps us get it into Power School faster. So these are enrollment dates that I'm going to be talking about first. So AK students new to dual enrollment must complete steps 1 through 6 by February 27th for summer fall priority registration, which will begin on March 31st. The final deadline to enroll into the dual enrollment program is April 4th. That is for both summer and fall. We're not going to keep it going all summer. If you don't get enrolled in the program, there's going to be announcements that go out about this. You guys are going to know about this. It's on you to get this done by April 4th. Once you're enrolled and CPCC has cleared you, then you can start registering for classes up until they start, depending on availability. So, all right. So this is the process chart. This is to show if you get enrolled between February 7th and February 27th, then you'll be able to register on March 31st. If you miss it by a day, then you're probably going to get processed between February 28th and March 6th. So that's going to delay you a week on registering, and your registration date would be April 7th. So you can follow this down, but that should make sense. This is the enrollment period. This is the registration period. So they kind of work together though. So just make sure you're familiar with that. If you have any questions, just reach out. All right. I'm going to have to adjust this a little bit. But okay, the first day of summer semester is May 21st, 2025. I'll fix that so that is not cut off. The last day of the summer semester is July 17th, 2025. So I want you to make a note of that. You're still a student at AK when your CPCC summer classes start if you choose to take them. So you still have to work your CPCC schedule around your AK schedule. And then if you're going on a family vacation during this time, doesn't make a lot of sense to take courses. These courses do figure into your GPA. You can't ask for courses to be waived. Whatever's on my report from CPCC is going to go on your high school transcript. Okay? So just make sure you guys plan accordingly. Make sure you understand the CPCC schedule. It's not always aligned with ours. Like summer, they start earlier than us. So you just need to familiarize yourself with the CPC schedule. First day of fall semester is August 18th. I'm sure we're not starting until probably like the 26th or somewhere in that area. So just make sure you realize that classes start. That's for the full fall semester and the first session, the short session. CPCC offers pretty much 2 sessions per semester. So there's an 8-week session that starts in August and that will finish October 10th. And then there's a second session that starts October 20th and ends December 12th, or you can take a full session that starts August 18th and ends December 12th. You get the same credit whether you do an 8-week session or the full 16-week session. It just know it's more crammed and a little bit more jam-packed in the 8-week session. So that gives you a chance to plan out how you want to take your classes. Returning dual enrollment students, you guys still need to complete step 3 and 5 every semester. So make sure you understand that. Steps 3 and 5 every semester. Step 3 is submitting your transcripts. And step 5 is the Google application letting me know if you're staying in the same pathway or if you're switching your pathway. All right, so let's go through these steps. So I gotta move these buttons up too. So these will be moved up a little bit too, so they go in line with the step. So step 1 is attend a CPCC information session. These are recommended, not mandatory. You'll hear probably different verbiage from them than you do from me, but again, we have our own set of rules for CPCC, so just make sure you're listening, you have an understanding, but know that our rules are in place too. So once you view an information session, then you can go on, complete the College and Career Promise application on cfnc.org. You can click on that link and they'll take you there. After you complete that, you'll get your CPCC ID number, and then you'll be able to continue on with the rest of the steps. You really need your CPCC ID number to complete the rest of the steps. Step 3 is requesting your high school transcript. I'm going to put this out there now. All students, whether you're new or returning, should do this every February and September. That's when CPCC wants updated transcripts, which makes sense. That's the end of our semesters, and they can see if you guys are still, meeting the GPA requirements, and they're required by law to have your transcript on file. So every February and September, if you plan on sticking with the program, submit your transcript during those times. You just go to cfnc.org, hover on apply, click to college, do the transcript hub, and CPCC has added, for some reason, there's 2 CPCC selections you can make. Make sure you choose CPCC undergraduate A. That will send your transcript to the correct place. So you do that, then once they get that, that is a big piece of getting cleared by them. You can move on, you can create your login, set up your My College account. So you'll be able to do all that. Then this is what I need. This is the second piece that's required every semester. Complete the AK application and contract. This is what it looks like on my side, but there are a lot of questions. You need your CMS ID number, you need your CPCC ID number. This is where you'll put your unweighted GPA, your grade level. This is current grade level, so make sure you fill that out correctly. Personal email in case I got to get in touch with you. Parent information. A little question to make sure you did watch the video. Are you a newer returning student? So all my rising juniors, you guys are going to be brand new to this. You're going to select new. If you're older and you already have a CPCC ID number and you've taken a class and you are a returning CPCC student, this will tell me what when you want to plan to start taking classes. Again, summer's only for rising seniors and graduating seniors. Fall is when all my juniors can start. This will let me know that you want to be eligible for the whole year. And then summer, fall, and spring 2000, this is another one the rising seniors can check. This will let me know that you submitted your transcript through CFNC. This lets me know your reason for taking CPCC. This helps with athletic tracking. Make sure you have at least 3 classes before the semester of your sport. And make sure you have at least, everybody needs 2, whether it's at CPCC or AK. This is more applies to seniors when they try to do early release. So make sure you know your athletic rules on how many classes you need to take to stay eligible for athletics. And then these are just kind of check boxes to let us know you understand everything. So make sure you go through those, read those. Attendance. And then this is where you'll let me know what pathway you want to take. So just read the directions carefully and select the pathway you're interested in. Again, you can choose up to 2. And then just signing that you understand and agree. So that's the application. And then the last main thing that could potentially hold you up for the enrollment piece of it is completing the checkpoint. It's on Brightspace. You can, once you get your account set up, you get into Brightspace, you enroll into the course. Make sure you go through each unit, and every unit says you're 100% complete. If it doesn't, you can complete the quiz, but if you haven't completed every section, it's not gonna clear you. So make sure you complete every section. It's about 26 question quiz. You can click through everything pretty fast. Just make sure, I think you have to score an 80% on it. But that could take 2 business days to get you cleared. So step 7, this is take Piedmont, Central Piedmont placement test if necessary, not required, especially if you have the 2.8 GPA. Check CPCC email and student information page. Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing. You guys are going to have to keep up with a couple different emails. CPCC is going to be emailing you to that account. Your teachers are going to be emailing you to your CPCC email. So if you miss something from them, that's on you guys. So just make sure you're checking that. I'll probably email you to your student email if there's information coming from me, or your personal email. So just make sure you're keeping up with email. This is a tutorial for online classes. You don't have to complete it, but if you need help with Brightspace, you can click on that. This is a registration video. This will show you how to register for classes. So I do not register you guys for classes. This is where you guys need to take ownership and kind of learn the process. So what registration, I can show you one piece of what it looks like, but I can't show you the whole thing because I can't get in from your guys' side. So I can search for sections. So eventually you guys are going to get to a page that looks like this. And let's say we're looking for an English 111 class. We can search for it. We can view available sections. And then on this side, while that pulls up, you have all these filters over here. So the next recent term coming up is summer. You can filter out summer. And this is showing us all summer 2025 English courses. So here's what I want. Here's the main thing I want you guys to see with this. When you guys are signed in, you should be able to see like a add section up here in the corner that you can click on, and then it'll move it to your plan. Then you got to go back into your planning section, and then you have to click the blue register button in your planning section. That video in step 10 should show you how to do that. All right, so this is what I want you guys to see though. So there's 25 seats available in this class. 19 are still available. So only 6 people have signed up for this section. This section meets Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 to 10:50 a.m. at the Central Campus, North Classroom Building, and then 4103. And then it looks like there is a section that might be online. You guys might not meet every day. It's got a B in it, so that means it's a blended class. So that means the professor might choose to have you guys in some days. But if you have a class at AK during that time, that's not going to work. So most of our students look for online courses. These courses that have a C after them means there's a co-requisite. It means there's this English support class, people that need help with English, which this might be for students that English is their second language. They can pick up a support class with that. So if you don't need any English support, then avoid the classes that have a C after it. All right, here's more blended classes. So we're going to try to get to an online class. These courses that have the lock button by them, it'll say there's a granted petition required. These courses are reserved by CPCC for some reason, and our students cannot register for them. Sometimes if it's getting close to the start date and there's still a bunch of seats left, we can email CPCC to see if you can get into that class. But for the most part, these classes are off limits. So do not try to schedule classes that have locks by them. All right, lots of summer classes. Okay, so here's what a fully online course looks like. English 111, it'll have an N in it. If it has an N in it, it is a fully online course. There's 25 seats available. You can see there's no meeting time. It just says Central Campus because that's the main campus. So they're housing, the teacher's probably located there. So you can see there's no dates or times. It's just Monday through Sunday. And that's just showing that you can work on it. It's asynchronous. The professor might have online office hours, but that is what a fully online class looks like. So make sure you guys keep that in mind. But yeah, that's what most of our students look for. All right, college paying all fees. So tuition is paid all 3 semesters, summer, fall, and spring. The one kind of nuance with that is summer. Student fees are not covered by CMS during the summer. They are only covered in the fall and spring. So student fees kind of depends on how many credit hours you're taking, but that could be anywhere from $100 to $300 I've seen in the past. So just keep that in mind for summer classes. I would encourage you guys, if you have to go to campus for anything, pick up a student ID. It's good to have. If you are taking in-person classes, then here's the parking permit, parking information. You'll need one of those. And then CPCC has gone to ebooks, so this should be all the information on that. They used to give a $50 credit per class. So if you do have a cost for a book, you can run it through the bookstore to see if the credit will cover at least a portion of that. So you'll just have to work with the bookstore on that, and there's links for that. And then there again, because students ask all the time, I need to send my transcript from CPCC. Here's that link again to send transcripts from CPCC. Okay, we're almost there. So here's some final things I would like to talk about. So the 10 total classes per school year. So this is a hard recommendation. You can take 10 total classes between CPCC, NCVPS, and AK. If you do CPCC, then you as a junior even you can have early release or late arrival. So that means you only need to take 6 classes at AK. That means you could take 2 a semester at CPCC to get you to that 10 credits, 10 total classes. Only classes that are 3 credit hours or more count towards this total. So there are some 1 and 2 credit hour courses out there. A couple things with that. Those do not figure into your GPA. They go in your transcript. You do get a grade for them, but those don't figure into your GPA. So those do not count in the 10 total classes. Only 3 plus credit hours count towards that total. And I would say 3 credit hours in college is equal to 1 class. So like at AK, you guys will finish with about 32 credits when you graduate. When you graduate from college, you'll graduate with probably about 120 credit hours. which equates to about 15 credit hours per semester. So that's 4 or 5 classes, or 4 to 6 classes. I know when I was in college, sometimes I took more classes, and then if I had a stressful semester, I would take less classes, but it usually averages out to 15 credit hours, which equals about 5 classes per semester. So that's to give you kind of an idea how credit hours in the college system works versus credits. Seniors may exceed this limit if they're working towards their associate's degree. You do have to come see me, and we have to kind of go through a few checkpoints. Again, we only have about 4 or 5 students that complete an associate's every year. It's not required. It's not going to help you get into college. I encourage students to take the courses that they want to take that will help them when they get to their 4-year college. So having a lot of the prerequisites knocked out, like the Englishes, the sciences, those will be beneficial to you. But it is not necessary to have an associate's degree. Everyone's like, well, that's 2 years of college done. Yeah, but there's not really a difference. If you plan on going to a 4-year college, that's going to be the degree you focus on. Having 57 credit hours versus 60 credit hours is not going to hurt you if you're going on to a 4-year college. So just keep that in mind. If you don't plan on going to a 4-year college and you want to get that associate's done, that could be beneficial to you then. And then you can take 2 to 3 4-hour courses during the summer between junior and senior year that do not count in that 10 total. So think your 10 total starts when fall semester at AK starts. So fall and spring semester counts, and then summer is its own thing where you can take 2, and then it resets going into your senior year. So this is kind of a little chart. So if you have no blocks, this would be seniors only. No blocks at AK. You can take 5 courses a semester at CPCC. The minimum you can take is 2. You have to take 2, is what I'm saying, or you'll be flagged in the system, and that's not good. Your parents will get a lot of phone calls. Why isn't your kid in school? So just make sure you're aware of that. 1 block at AK means you can take 4 a semester at CPCC. And again, you can see this down. The summer term after you graduate high school, seniors, you guys can take as many classes as you want. They're not going to go in your high school transcript because you're going to be graduated. So if you wanted to take 4 or 5 to finish that associate's degree, by all means, you can do that. So know that if you are getting close to the associates, you don't have to finish it by the time you graduate from AK. You can finish it up in the summer after you graduate. So keep all that in mind. So we talked about pathways. Have to select a pathway. You have to select classes from that pathway. Getting in early is important, so you do get the courses you want. And then graduation requirements must be taken at AK. Attendance at every CPCC class is required. Those online classes we were talking about earlier, they come with an enrollment verification activity that happens within the first couple days of class. If you don't complete that assignment, you'll be kicked out of your class and probably receive a failing grade. So make sure there's a little pressure on you guys to complete the things you need to. Again, we talked about the CPCC calendar. They start a week or 2 ahead of us. They meet during, CMS holidays. They're definitely probably meeting on days we have work days, so just keep all that in mind. By the time you get to your senior year, second semester of your senior year may not have any classes left to take, so you can take all your classes second semester at CPCC. Again, you just have to make sure you have 2 on your schedule. There's mid-year graduation and there's mid-year finish. Mid-year finish are the students that want to graduate with their class in June. So they won't take any classes at AK, but they'll take 2 classes or more at CPCC and then graduate in June. Mid-year graduate is a student that just is ready to be done with high school, wants to be done. They can still take courses for free spring semester at CPCC, but they would not be eligible for that summer. You're only eligible for that next term after your graduation date. So I encourage you, if you're on the fence between mid-year graduate and mid-year finish, I would go mid-year finish and have that opportunity to take more CPCC classes for free during the summer. Transportation, students are responsible for their own transportation to and from CPCC. We talked about parking. Parking's not guaranteed. And if you do have early release, you can't stay on AK campus until the end of the school day. You have to leave campus when your last class is done at AK. Grades and credit, we've talked a lot about this. So when I get my final report from CPCC, I only get a letter grade. So CMS tells me if it's an A on my report, then it goes in as just that middle 95, B 85. So you guys might see something different on your end. Just make sure you understand that I'm following CMS guidelines on that. And then again, just expenses, tuition's covered, all 3 terms. You guys may be responsible for cost of textbooks, and then again, summer student fees would have to be paid as well. So let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. I know there's a lot of students a lot of rising juniors are probably getting stuff for middle college, and they're trying to figure out if middle college or dual enrollment is for them. I would say do middle college if you're not happy at AK. If it's too big, if there's too much going on, middle college is going to be a smaller setting. I don't work with that program. That is, you would have to attend an information session if you wanted to go to the middle college, but it's essentially the same courses that you can do through dual enrollment. So there's not a big difference. But if you're thinking about middle college, I encourage you to go to one of their information sessions. I think that's about it. Just make sure you get this done early. My biggest pet peeve is students who wait until last minute, or sometimes I'll get students over the summer, hey, I need to sign up, and they haven't done any of the steps. I can't help you that much. Again, we have over 600 kids that do this program. So if 550 are doing the program correctly, that means 600 can do it correctly. So again, don't wait until April 3rd to try to get your CPCC ID number, because you're probably not going to be able to complete the rest of the steps by April 4th. Remember, February 27th, if you want that priority registration, if you want to be like, I want to get in and get my classes, I know what I want to take, I want to get in. If we get a bunch of people shooting for February 27th, that would be a huge help to me, to you guys. We can knock a lot of this out. And then if you don't make the February 27th, that's okay. You still have time. But I think this being open for just about 2 months is plenty of time for you guys to get enrolled into the process. So if you have any other questions after you watch this video, you are more than welcome to shoot me an email or just stop into student services. Thank you for your time and have a great day, AK.